Let's start with the funny, corny math joke. What did the area say to perimeter while arguing? I'm trying to talk to you, but I feel like you're just going around my problem. Anyways, today we're going to be doing area of triangles and trapezoids. So I wrote the formula here. For triangle, you do the base times the height divided by 2. So I have 10 times 9, which would be 90, divided by 2. You could do the math out or use a calculator, and what you would get is 45 square yards. Now this shape right here, this is a trapezoid. The trapezoid's a little bit different than a triangle for formulas. I wrote it right here. So we have two bases. We have base number 1, base number 2. What we're going to do is add them. So 6 plus 4 is 10. So I do half of 10 times the height. The height is 7. So half of 10 is 5. 5 times 7 is 35. Let's try it on a different one.
No, I'm all about that bass, no trouble.
I'm all about the bass for trapezoids. Alright, so I labeled the formula for you, the bases, and the height. I don't know, this reminded me of a person. Anyways, the height is 4. So we want to add up the bases. So we have 8 and we have 3. So 8 plus 3 is 11. So I want to do half of 11 times the height, which is 4. If you're not sure what a half of 11 is and don't have access to a calculator, you can just divide by 2. So 2 times 5 is 10. Add a decimal and a 0. Bring the 0 down. 2 times the decimal up here. 2 times technical difficulties. 5 is 10. So half of 11 is 5.5. So I do 5.5 times 4. Let's put that down here. So 5.5 times 4. Carry the 2. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 2 is 22.0. So it's 22 square meters. For triangles, we do the base times the height divided by 2. So I'm going to do 17.9 times 15. And I got 2685, and I moved the decimal. I have one decimal place, so I move it over 1 to the left. 268.5 square miles. For this one, we have the height, which is 4, but we don't know what the base is. We have the area, which is 8. So we have our formula, and we want to plug in what we know. So I put 4c because I have the height, and I know the base is c right now. Divided by 2 equals 8. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. So 2c equals 8. And now we have an equation. This means 2 times c, so I have to do the opposite, which is divide. I'm going to get the c all by itself. So I divide it by 2. Whatever I do on one side, I do to the other. And c equals 4. When I have a question that involves words, I want to look at the keywords. So sort of like we did at the last lesson, you identify the keywords, so triangle, what the base is, what the height is, and we're asking the area. So we know that it's a triangle. We know the base is 8.9 kilometers, and the height is 16. What we want to know is what the area is. So then we think, okay, the area of a triangle is base times the height divided by 2. We have the base and the height, we just need to solve for area. So I am going to do 8.9 times 16 divided by 2 to get my answer. And yes, you can use a calculator if you have one. So 8.9 times 16 is 142.4. And then I divide by 2 and I get 71.2 kilometers squared. For this, we have a back in the day buffet. We're going to bring it back to our fraction operations. Fun times. So how it's written out right here doesn't look too fun, but we will fix it. We're going to change these mixed numbers first to improper fractions. So 9 times 2 plus 1. So 9 times 2 is 18 plus 1. I have 19 over 2 times 10 times 4 is 40 plus 1 is 41 times 41 over 2. And I'm going to put that over 4. So now I do 19 times 41, which is 779. Multiply the denominator, so I do 779 divided by 8. And I get 97.375. Again, you can use a calculator. And you're ready to go with AA3. Have fun!